And so it was a knock on the door. And so I just was sitting there. I'm looking at him. He looking at me. And then he didn't say nothing. So he kept talking to me like that knock on the door didn't just happen. So then I hear another knock on the door.
No, you ain't gonna just bypass the knock though.
Exactly. So then I hear keys trying to rattle and get in. And so
waking up early, catch a flight to Michigan. Business comes first, that's why I'm always winning, man. If you think I'm bougie, you never met my mom. 7 years old, I'm already set for prom. Savings on fleek.
What's up, world? It's your girl Sherelle, and I'm back at it with another banger. Today, I have a special guest. I have my friend
Talise. Hey.
And y'all, me and her, we basically neighbors, you know what I'm saying? So it was only right that we got on here and talked our to y'all. And we're going to be going over some topics. We're going to give y'all the real, some stuff that people don't really want to tell you. But we about to let y'all in. So before I get started, I want to ask y'all, do y'all got y'all wine? Do y'all got y'all tea or your water of choice? I need y'all to go ahead and get comfortable. Y'all already know the routine because it's about to go down. So, Miss Talise, I want to talk about dating in Dallas.
Ooh.
A lot of people always ask me about this topic, and for some reason, Dallas has a negative reputation about dating. So, can you give me a little insight on your experience with Dallas dating? We're gonna talk about how it first started when you first moved here.
Yeah, okay. So, when I moved here? 2016? How many years is that?
7? 6?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, 6 years of experience of dating in Dallas.
So, she got 6 years of experience with dating in Dallas. Okay?
So, be trying to date some of these people's sons.
Some of these people's sons, listen, and that's what they is, somebody's son, because a lot of them act like that.
I don't know. I don't know where it starts. Is it that? No, we ain't gonna talk about that. That's too much. We can't blame the mamas. Because when you get grown, you should know by now. It's a way to do it and it's a way not to do it.
That's true, because it could be two men raised in the same household, and they are completely different. I will say the mama could have a little bit to do with it, but you know, for the most part, when you're a grown man, you make your own decisions.
Yeah.
So
we can't say the mamas. Grown men, they know, and it's just common sense. You know how to treat a woman. You should know by now. If you're 30 years old and don't know how to treat a woman, you don't need to be dating. What you even out here for?
Okay. See, I'm gonna let you go ahead and give your little expert, you know what I'm saying, and I'm gonna give my advice. I'm gonna tell you how I feel later, but she been here longer than me, so I feel like y'all should get her opinion first, and then I'll tell y'all about mine, and then we're gonna talk about just dating in general, because for real, I think the problem is the generation that we in.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, a lot of these men, they want to be the bad bitch in the relationship. Yeah. It's like, nigga, who? Nigga, last time I checked, you know, but yes. So tell me about some of your experiences.
I mean, okay, so it do depend on a lot of what you're looking for.
Okay.
And where you go, and the type of people that you attract, and the type that you attracted to. Yeah. But you would think finding a reformed hood nigga.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
She talking my language. Now she talking my language, okay?
What's wrong with that? How? It's a bunch of them around here. It's old drug dealers, ex-drug dealers, it's ex, bad boys that done reformed and reshaped their life and is, involved in like good things, like doing stuff for community, or just, I don't even know, just better.
So
better today.
So basically, is it that they putting on the front for the community and not really doing what they need to do at home?
No, it's just where do you find them? Where do you find them ones? Because when you run into, I guess you're right. Because it could be that they just put on the front. Because when when you first had that first date, right? And you know how you sitting around and y'all talking, and he like, yeah, I do this and I do that. I used to do this, but I ain't even on that no more. I'm just trying to chill, blah 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 blah. Then 2-3 dates later, he's somebody totally different. You like, what the hell? So you put on that front.
Mm-hmm.
Just be about what you say you're gonna be about.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's so hard. And then like the men in Dallas, I don't know.
So speaking on that, okay, I'm involved in a lot of Facebook groups, and I'm in the in the Black Girls of Texas, Black Dallas, a lot of groups, and everybody always says the dating in Dallas sucks. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, how could it be just one city of men? You know what I'm saying, that suck? Because honestly, I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and the dating scene there is just trash. So I'm wondering, is it really about the location, or is it about the influence?
Is it the black community?
Is it the black community?
Is it?
I think so.
It is.
And it's something that we have to work on.
It's a disconnect for sure.
It's definitely a disconnect, because one thing we have to work on is unity. Like our black men, they always bashing us, and I'm not gonna say we don't bash them, but we don't be bashing them based on their appearance. We don't be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my woman gotta have this, she gotta look like this, and that, and then they get in them artificial, superficial relationships, and then be sad when it don't work out. Mm-hmm. Me, I would say my experience in Dallas. I don't know if I could really give a lot of opinion, because I've been here 3 years. The first year I just sat in the house. I ain't deal with nobody. And then when I did meet somebody, I really don't have nothing bad to say about him besides we just weren't compatible. The thing about it is, he was a provider. Very ambitious, and one of the things I think that attracted us to each other is I like a nigga that I could sit up here and I could talk to you about Mo3, you know what I'm saying, Boosie. We're going to talk about hip hop, and then we can also talk about stocks and bonds, starting businesses. Like, you got to be able to do both. That's one thing with me. Like, when she said a reformed street nigga, like, that's, yeah, that's my type. Like, and then people always be like, why don't you get you a Steven? And I'm just like,
get you a what?
A Steven, somebody who, like a nerd, basically. And I'm like, I can't do that, because if I'm blasting my rap music in the car and you looking at me sideways, like, it's not gonna work.
Yeah. Compatibility is important, and it's a lot of people that say that, especially a lot of men. They say you want a good guy, blah blah blah, but when there's a good guy that's doing this. Yeah, but it's about compatibility. You want somebody that look a certain way, talk a certain way, do stuff certain ways, in addition to being nice and being kind and being gentle and sweet and caring. Yes. You want all of that all together.
Yeah, can we have all of it? Like, what's wrong with having...
Why is it so hard? It shouldn't be that hard.
Because a lot of people, like, basically tell you that you have to settle. When it's like, if you want a good man, you got to get you a man in the church. Man, please. Yeah. Ain't either. So compatibility is really, really important. But it's hard. It really is hard. For example, like somebody that I was dating, anytime I would even go like out to eat with my homegirls, or I could even go to the water park with the kids, and he just had insecurity issues. Really, this what we finna do? This what we finna do? Because I know you didn't think that I moved all the way 1,000 miles. You thought I just moved 1,000 miles to what? Sit in the house? Right. I could have did that in Michigan. So you definitely have to be secure in your relationship. You have to have a certain level of trust. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing, that's a reason why we didn't work. And then another guy that I was dating, he worked out of town, like San Antonio or some shit like that. Like he worked in the oil field. And so that situation didn't really go anywhere, because he thought that it was cool just because he worked out of town, that whenever he go to work, he didn't have to call or check in. You just gonna hit me up when you come to town? Like, see, my thing is, you go 24 hours without calling, that's a no call, no show.
Yeah.
You done.
So what's your worst dating? What's the worst date you've been on in Dallas?
It wasn't nobody that I met in person. It was a dating app, y'all.
A dating app?
Yeah.
What happened?
I done had some crazy stories with the dating apps. Let me tell y'all. So I created the dating app for a different reason. I'm not gonna tell y'all my business, okay? But it wasn't for me. I wasn't looking for a date, cause, honey. But anyway, I ran across a couple of gentlemen who were interested in me, and one nigga. I got about 4 stories. The first nigga told me, he said, "What do you like to do?" I told him what I like to do. And he was about 27. I'm 31. And I think I was 30 at the time. And he said, "Well, you could come to my crib and we could sit." So immediately I knew where that conversation was going. But I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to entertain it and see how far it goes. And he was like, yeah, he was like, "I got some Parmesan." Some what? Some what? So I put laugh out loud. And he was like, "What's funny?" He immediately got angry, y'all. That nigga flipped the whole script.
Dang, really?
Yes. He was like, "What's so funny?" And I'm like, "I don't drink Parmesan, sweetie." I'm like, "I might drink Henny." You know what I'm saying? I'm a Henny girl. I'm not too bougie for the Henny, but Parmesan. And he was just like, "That's your problem." He was like, I bet you if I switched out your drink, if I poured some Parmesan in a Henny glass, you wouldn't even know the difference.
Ain't Parmesan brandy?
Yes.
And Henny is cognac. I can tell the difference. I've been drinking for a long time.
Okay.
I can tell the difference.
Then, are you admitting you be switching out drinks?
Right, like what?
It's giving weird. I was like, hell no. So then I told him, I'm like, nah, I don't drink brandy, and I definitely don't drink Parmesan. So he was just like, "That's so funny." He was like, what did he say? He was like, "I forgot old women be trying to act."
So now you call you old. So now you old.
No, this nigga. I said, what? So
Well, he was trying to holler at you.
it's right.
When
So
he swipe right.
when you swipe right, I wasn't old, right? So now you admitting that you switch out drinks. Now I'm old, and I was just like, you know what, you have a nice night, sir. And he was like, "Bitch, that's why you're gonna be lonely forever." I'm like,
Oh, so he was mad.
"Oh, you mad, man? You mad? I ain't trying to argue with you.
Girl.
You mad?" So that was the first one, and then there was a guy that I was talking to for literally, we talked one day and it didn't get anywhere because he wrote me. He like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and I'm like, "Thank you." He was like, "We should talk more." We exchanged numbers, right? So he said, "Are you dealing with anyone?" And I said, "No." And then he sent me like a meme that basically was like, "Why you always lying?" And so I'm like, "No, I'm not dealing with anyone." And then he sent me another meme like saying that I was lying. And so I just stopped talking. I went back on the dating app like about 2 hours later, and he blocked me on the dating app. I said, "Did I just get blocked because I said I wasn't talking to nobody? Like, what the fuck?" So you know what? I wrote him. Because see, normally he just would have got blocked, but I was bored. I was like, I'm gonna write him. I said, "So you blocked me because I'm not dealing with somebody?" He was like, "No, I actually just deleted the whole app." I was like, "Okay." He was like, "But it seemed like you was busy." I said, "How?" He was like, "Well, I wrote you and I asked you, was you dealing with somebody?" I said, "And I answered your question. And then you sent me a meme. You wanted me to respond to the memes." "Well, it seemed like you was busy." I'm like, "We just talked 2 hours ago. I just took a nap. Is that okay?" So, I don't know. Them men on there, they crazy.
Yeah, I remember I gave my number out to some dude on the app, and he was blowing me up, and I was like, "Oh, I won't do that no more." After that, it was them Google numbers, the text free app. Yeah, people blowing me.
I do that too, but they be getting mad about that shit. They like, you ain't got no Android. It's a fake number. Whatever, you earn my trust to get my
right.
Yeah.
I talk to you on my time if I think you worth it, cause
Yeah, for real. So
I went on a date with this dude before, and in Dallas. This is the worst. This is the worst date. This is my worst dating story ever in the world, and it happened.
Ever in the world? Okay, listen.
And it happened here in Dallas. So I went on this date with this guy. I met him at Walmart. Actually, we were both doing something in the money center. I can't remember what I was doing, but he had on like his work uniform. So he was, I could tell he had a nice job, whatever. And then he was like, okay, yeah, I want to take you out. So a couple weeks went by, we talked, and he was cool. He was telling me how he wanted to move to Australia. Okay. And, he was, he had like some degrees, and he was just a cool dude, real cool. So he was like, okay, well, I would like to, take you out. I was like, okay, cool. So we met up, and the date went really nice. It was a nice restaurant. What the hell is the name of that restaurant? I think Perry's or something like that. Okay. I don't know, one of them. It was a nice restaurant. He looked really nice. Everything was going good. So he was like, do you wanna stop by my house for a nightcap? And I was like, listen, okay, look. I had been in Dallas for like 3 months. It was like that time.
Hey, listen, and let's just stop. I'm gonna stop you right there, okay? We have those nights too, fellas. Let me tell y'all something. Sometimes we want it too. And y'all niggas be thinking like, oh, I got in the panties, I got in the drawers. No, nigga, we knew that we wanted to fuck you the first time we seen you. We knew it within 5 minutes, honey. Cause it's another nigga that we might be talking to for a whole 6 months and he ain't getting it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But we choose who we want to choose, so let's get that understood. Just saying.
That's a quick side note.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to his house and he had a really nice apartment. It was like decorated really nice, and I'm like, first red flag. Why is your apartment decorated so nice? You a man. Not to say that men can't decorate.
No. I know where this is
going. But you can tell the difference. And he had this big old like chess board, and it was really big and it had all these pieces. And I was just looking at it. I'm like, this is some really nice stuff. Don't no man look at nothing like that and say, I want this in my house. Like it was too much. It was like, I think it was like crystals. Ain't no man. I'm sorry. So I was like,
honey.
And so then I started looking around and I see some shoes, some heels. Mm-hmm. You a man, you don't wear heels. It's a 1-bedroom apartment.
He didn't clean up he didn't clean up the dirt before he invited you over.
I don't know. And then so I'm like, okay, so I'm still being polite, but I'm noted already. So I sit down on the couch, I'm sitting there. And he was in the kitchen. He was talking to me. He was pouring water. And so it was a knock on the door. And so I just was sitting there. I'm looking at him. He looking at me. And then he didn't say nothing. So he kept talking to me like that knock on the door didn't just happen. So then I hear another knock on the door.
No, you ain't going to just bypass the knock, though.
Exactly. So then I hear keys trying to rattle and get in. And so they unlocked the lock, but you know how you got the top lock where you got, you lock it from the only the inside can be locked, right? So that lock was still locked. So they tried to open it. The key worked. They tried to open it, so they knew somebody was in there. So at this point, they banging on the door, like trying to get in. So they start banging on the door. And so then I just hear a girl's voice. She was like, Tyrone. And so I was just like, did you answer the door for your roommate? Because like at this point, is this your roommate? I'm still trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But girl, so he was like, oh no, that's I subleased this apartment, and she's here. She still has some things she got to get together. So I'm just like, okay, well let her in. And he just started acting funny. So then the person left. And next thing I know, I hear a window shatter from the bedroom. So I hear the window shatter, and he ran to the bedroom door, and I just hear her screaming. She was screaming and whatever. And then I guess she cut herself because she was like, I'm bleeding. I just got the fuck out.
Oh,
I just grabbed my shit.
God.
I just grabbed my shit and went out the front door.
Bitch, so y'all didn't run into each other?
They was in there tussling. I heard them tussling.
Bitch.
Oh my
God.
So then I'm on the highway, and this was like 15 minutes later. He called me, and I answered, and I'm like, are you okay? What's going on? He was like, no, that's just my roommate. I'm sorry that happened, but I'm sorry. And then he started trying to talk like nothing happened. I'm like,
you ain't just gonna skip past a whole woman was trying to break in your house.
Right? I'm just like, you know what, Tyrone? I had a nice night, but that kind of blew me, and I don't think that we should talk no more. So, and he was just like, okay, sweetie, I understand. I do want to let you know that it was nothing like that, and no. It was
definitely like
Don't
that.
lie to me.
Definitely. See,
I'm not no dummy.
Okay, she got me because I done been through some but that's a first. That's a first.
And it happened in Dallas.
So if y'all watching, I just want to ask y'all fellas, like, what be going through y'all mind when y'all invite people to the crib, knowing that you live with somebody?
Why would you even invite me? That's
like,
so stupid.
I really need y'all to comment and answer that because that's crazy. Like, you could have got an Airbnb, you know what I'm saying, a hotel or whatever. These niggas really be blowing me. I guess,
And the night was going so good that I don't know about the hotel, but it was going really good. So I mean, he could have spent that any type of way.
Yeah. Yeah, and he messed it up.
He blew it.
And then I'm sorry, I'm sad for you, sis, because I know you.
I was like, dang. And I guess what?
It was great.
And I still ain't getting none.
And she couldn't even get none. This ain't even about you, my nigga. At this point, you messing it up.
But look. So the very next weekend after that, I went on another date with another Dallas dude. And he invited me to this bowling league. He said his kids was in some bowling league and he would like me to go. And I had been talking to him too. So, he was cool. And, yeah, he was cool. So I get to the bowling alley and his baby mama was there, and so that's already awkward. But he introduced me, and he was
okay.
This is my friend Talise, and Talise, this is whatever. And she was like, hi, but she kind of looked funny, like she was like, hi, like it kind of caught her off guard.
Yeah.
So then I'm sitting there. Next thing I know, I hear, I don't give a fuck who she is. And so we in this bowling alley, it's all these white people around. And, we only black people up in there. And they looking, and I'm looking too, and I'm just like, why do this be happening? So at that point, I'm like, look, I think I'm done dating in Dallas because why is this happening?
What was his explanation for that?
He was like, I don't know why she act like that. I don't know. She said that I just caught her off guard. And, but I do apologize. And, he was very mature about it, but I don't know. I don't know.
That situation sounded like they probably wasn't together, but she was still in her feelings probably.
Yeah, it was something like that. But I don't want to deal with no baby mama drama, so.
Period. And I don't blame you at all. I don't.
I'm straight on the baby mama stuff.
I think, the general consensus, like, I think one of the problems in Dallas is, like, the men, they got a lot of options. And this is a big city. And if they don't have self-control, then I do feel like that's a little bit of everywhere, though,
Yeah.
I could say one of the positive things about dating is, you got the southern hospitality down here. For the men who was raised here, because a lot of these niggas be transplants. But for the men who was raised here, they got hospitality, open doors, and, do what they supposed to do. Take out the trash. And I done met a few niggas who like to spend money. But as far as monogamy,
yes, it's a lot of that going on. not monogamy,
but polygamy.
polygamy.
Mhm.
It's a lot. Everybody,
it's a lot of polygamy going on.
everybody wants to be poly down here.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it.
A lot of ex. And find somebody that you're compatible with. Don't rush it. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, go wherever the type of man that you like, go where they're gonna be at. You know, if you're looking for somebody sophisticated and, you know, classy, a gentleman, like cigar lounges or...
So y'all hold her to it. Let us know. Let us know your worst experience in Dallas with dating. And we want to read it. And, you know, with your permission, we might post a story. Mm-hmm. So that's my time, y'all. That's all I have for y'all today. I thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, Talise, for joining me.
Thank you for letting me go.
Yes. So I will see y'all next week.